What's going on, guys? It's Kyle with Ocean State Merchants, back with another What Sold video. So bringing you guys through everything that sold this last week here. We've sold 41 items on 3 different platforms. We went through Mercari, Facebook, and eBay. Obviously, eBay being the majority with 35 items. I sold 5 on Facebook Marketplace and then only 1 on Mercari this week. Mercari is definitely my weakest. No Poshmark sales, which is interesting. I've been moving especially a lot of clothing over, but haven't really locked anything down there. I've also been moving over a lot of like boys action figures, which I don't think does super well for me, and they like wrestling action figures, Motu figures. I tend to do better on Poshmark with like little kid toys, like Bluey did very well for me there, and I've done well with like girl toys like Barbie, stuff like that. But when it comes to like wrestling figures, stuff like those kind of things, I don't seem to do as well on Poshmark, which I find interesting. But continue to move along here. I had $1,261.70 on my eBay for total sales, but I look at my subtotal, which is 808.33. That's just everything what I had listed for. Some of my shipping I do make a little bit of money on. How I do my shipping is I use calculated. I don't do the thing where it's like the exact number. But what I'll do is I'll usually, like if it's a 2-pound item, I'll put it at like a 12-ounce rate, and generally that's around the same amount. Usually it's a little over, which kind of accounts a little bit for the box and that stuff, my packing supplies. But I think it gives me a little bit more of a competitive rate. If it's like a 4-ounce item, I'll put like $5 or $5.50. I'll do like flat rate shipping on those, because generally it's like a $4 item. If you put a 4-ounce rate, it's still pretty expensive for the calculated shipping. So when it's super light, I'll put it in like a flat rate amount, but so I am making a tiny bit, probably a little bit more on my shipping, but not a ton. Bring you guys through everything that sold though. So to start it off, we sold this Dune buggy for a G.I. Joe figure. That sold for $17, incomplete. I think it was missing the gun. There should be like a huge gun on the top. That one didn't have it. I had another one that I think I sold for like 25 or 30. That was complete. Sold this Young Romance book. These actually do pretty well. So this one only sold for $7.59. But a lot of these I have in decent condition, and I'm asking for a good amount. I sold one for like $30. So some of these Young Romance, Young Love books seem to do okay. So hopefully we'll be seeing more of those in the future. Another comic book from the comic lot. This is Combat Kelly. This one was the first issue. Sold that for $15. This was I'm not even sure what this was for. This was some sort of adapter I got in a storage unit. I always look up the adapters. They're never anything crazy. This is probably one of the more expensive ones at $14.99. But they're easy lists. They're easy packs. They sell super quick. I never really have too much. I mean, obviously, you want to look at the condition of it, but I don't have too many return requests for it not working. Obviously, a lot of times I can't test them because I'm not even sure what they go to. But this was a quick sale. And this may actually have been something medical. And I just took the medical device, threw that away because I don't want to be involved with trying to get anything medical on eBay. So I may have thrown that away and just sold the power cord to make a little bit of money on it. Horrible picture here, but I sold this New England Patriots commercial license plate here. Sold for $14.99 plus shipping on that one. Sold these prayer beads. These sold for $14.24. Took an offer. It looks like I sent out a 5% offer. I probably had it up for $15, so for 76 cents, I am more than happy to get that moving. I've had these for quite some time, but that was free shipping. Once again, a very lightweight item. Sold this Zac Brown band t-shirt. I've had this graphic t-shirt forever. It's size small. There is a little bit of crackling on the graphic, but overall, I thought this would do better than what it did. I think I got this. This might have even been from my sister, where I just took a bunch of her clothing from my parents' house. But I think this was, size small, so it was a little bit harder, but $7 on that one. Milton the Monster, once again from the comic book lot. These are just keep on coming in. Another $19.99 there. We had this Wilson staff. I'm happy to sell it in golf club at this moment. I'm in New England, so it's a little cold. I still am golfing, though, which is nice. But obviously a lot less people looking for replacement clubs, that kind of stuff. However, when you are in like the more southern part of the United States, people are still golfing, still moving. It's probably actually a better time of year for them to be playing. So still see some progress on that. But in a couple months, I think it's going to start to really be dead on the golf club scene. We got the Olympus camera. So this was tested with no film. Person had a lot of questions on this, so I was a little nervous on sending this one. It was delivered November 3rd. Today's November 8th. So happy that this person received it. They haven't left feedback yet, so we'll see. But they had a lot of questions about the testing and how it was done. So I was a little nervous to see if something wasn't going to meet their specifications, but $72.60 on that one. I had that camera for a while. I bought 4 of those, all the same. I felt very confident with it because I did sell 3 others that had no issues. But, you know, when the buyer is asking that many questions, it always at least puts up a little bit of a red flag there. Sold another comic book, Kung Fu Fighter. I think this was the first edition, first one. Sold that for $6. Nothing too crazy on that one. Been seeing a lot of Christmas move. I'm already almost out of my Christmas stuff. Like a lot of I didn't have a ton of Christmas stuff to begin with this year, but a lot of that stuff has already moved. These are 3 oversized stockings. I actually got these. We have a fairly new bins, so we actually got a Goodwill bins here in Rhode Island. That's in Providence, about a half hour from me. And there was earlier this year, or maybe the year before, the Salvation Army created one. I went there. It was pretty dead. It was very low key, which is kind of fit my alley there. And nothing too crazy in them, but I did find these 3 stockings, hand knit. Looks like they're handmade. They look pretty cool. Had a nice Christmas theme to it, so I just grabbed them. And they moved this year during the Christmas season for $30. So $10 a stocking. Couldn't be happier with that sale. Sold this Ninja portable blender, or not portable, but this Ninja blender. It was brand new in a storage unit. Sold that for $80.75 plus shipping. Got this wrestling ring here. So I did a big buy of wrestling figures, Motu figures, so a little bit of Star Wars mixed in there. Maybe not my best buy ever, but I've been slowly chipping away and getting a little bit more comfortable. You're going to see a lot of that stuff here coming up quick. So it's definitely eased my burden. This next upcoming week, I've actually gone through pretty much this whole week in sales. It's the Saturday after this week of sales. So on my next video will be coming out very shortly with another What Sold. But we've sold a lot of the big pieces that I really needed to sell here. So feeling much better on this buy, but $24.99 on that. Another wrestling figure, this guy, 1986, Tito Santana. A lot of these guys are in kind of rough condition. This one I sent a 5% offer on, sold at $6.64. These are all like the Titan Jax figures, so from the 80s. We have Randy Macho Man, Savage. We got, I'm not gonna even try to pronounce his name. Wow, can't even speak right now. That's how bad I am with pronunciation here. So he ended up selling, and we sold Captain Lou Albano. All 3 of those guys sold for $21.97. Person did a package deal. I always rebate the shipping, and was able to get all 3 moved. Happy to see those go. All those 80s guys were in pretty poor condition. There's a lot of paint transfer, paint missing, so any of that stuff that can move, I'm very happy with. 1977 What If #1 if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four. That sold for $6.99 there. I have a variation lot for DVDs. I started doing this. It's something I did on my old eBay, but I'm going to try to move to Whatnot in this next year. Doing storage units, I just think that Whatnot needs to be something that I do. A lot of stuff that I donate or get rid of for free, I think I can move on Whatnot even for a couple bucks and then build a little bit of an audience. And I don't mind selling my big stuff there too, the video game systems, the video games, that stuff. I'll take a loss if I can flip the stuff that normally I wouldn't in them as well. One of the ways I'm going to try to do this is with DVDs. So I'm going to get rid of this DVD variation listing, and I'm going to sell DVDs there. But this one did sell. This is gone in 60 seconds. It sold for $1.50. I have a little higher shipping on it because it's buy one and then get free shipping on everything else. But the listing right now is so low on the variations where I doubt that people are going to be buying a lot. Not something I'm going to really continue with at the moment, but definitely want to move those over onto Whatnot. My goal is to do that over next week, so not this upcoming what sold, but hopefully the what sold after that, you'll see some whatnot sales in there mixed in as well. We'll see if that actually happens. Dickens London Christmas Village House here. As I said, a lot of Christmas is moving for me. $12.99 on that piece. Sold another comic book. This is the Red Wolf, #1, first appearance of the Red Wolf. Sold that for $9.49 plus the shipping. Thought this was a pretty cool t-shirt. I don't keep much clothing for my storage units. A lot of times they're just dirty and unfortunately have to be tossed. Sometimes you find some nice clean units but don't have like quite the brands. I'm not a big clothing reseller, but I just love this one, the S'mores camping t-shirt there. I thought that would sell over the summer. It didn't. It ended up moving now, which I found interesting, but $9.49 on that. This is Doc Savage. These are bigger, like magazine, comic book kind of things, maybe like graphic novel magazine kind of things. #1 and #2, a lot of those two up, got $18.99 for those two books. Another G.I. Joe figure. So this is my first buyout of G.I. Joe stuff, and this is the Imp Tank. This one was complete, I believe. Had all the missiles. I think it had everything with it. $15. Probably charged a little bit too much on shipping on this one. This was before I was kind of doing my discounted shipping, so I probably charged like a £2 rate because they spent $15 in shipping. There's no way that was $15 to ship that item. Weed disc only game. So this came in like one of the standard just like jackets from GameStop. Sold that for $22. I put that and that sold within minutes. So comps were pretty much there. I went back and just double checked it just because of how fast it sold. So I know it's a popular game, but I was impressed at how fast that sold. Another 2-pack. So this is a series that you would find on card for the two figures, Gold Dust and Marlena. Sold those for $17.09. Took an offer on that of 5%. And got both of those moved. As I said, a lot of wrestling in this. Sold this G.I. Joe Devilfish boat. This one had an accident with it, so it came with 3 missiles, only missing 1 missile, so it was near complete. Sold for $20. Unfortunately, I just sent this out yesterday because I was packing it. One of the missiles fell off. Most of these G.I. Joe figures, I took everything off and kind of put it into like a small bag, like the accessories, and then I have a ton of just big Ziploc bags that I just reuse to keep things together. And then when I pack it, I put it in a different bag. But this one, I didn't do that, and I just had the missile sitting on top of the boat. And when I took it off, one of the missiles fell off near where I shipped my stuff. So the person was a little upset that they were missing a missile, but I was able to find it and send it to them. So took another $4 loss on it. But, you know, obviously I don't want to, I owe them the missile. I mean, it's 100% my fault, but kind of stinks to have a little bit on there. But that sold for the $20 there. We had a 2018 mini bat for the Red Sox World Series. These move. They actually moved pretty quickly. Didn't have this up too long. Sold for $9.49. You're not going to make a killing on it, but they're always pretty quick movers in my area. We have a lot of that kind of stuff here. Mark Henry and D'Lo Brown sold these two figures for $9.49. Continue with that wrestling theme. Johnny B. Bad, again, $7.59. Another wrestling action figure there. Like the lot up, similar artists. So 2 Kenny Chesney CDs. Both these were sealed. One of the discs was pretty cracked. Maybe both of them were cracked, actually. I know one of them was pretty beat up. Sold that for $5 plus shipping on that. So quick little sale. That's a variation. I have 4 different copies of the same CDs. So allotted all 4, like them up. I have 8 copies, 4 of the same, 2 of each. So a lot of that up. So it's $20 overall. It's going to take forever to sell, though. They move very slowly. I think that's the second sale in like a year. So at some point we'll eventually get there, but I don't even know where those came from. I think those were free in some sort of storage unit. Once again, from my previous video, I got all these colognes for crazy cheap. I think I'm into it for like $100 and something. Low hundreds for all these colognes, and this one alone sold for $140. I had one sell for over $200. So I made a killing on these colognes. I should make well over $1,000. This is a lady that has yard sales every year. She has multiple sales. I always go there because her prices are fair. She does a lot of like the retail arbitrage kind of stuff. I always find she always has like a couple like action figures or stuff that I'm interested in, sports, cleats, stuff like that, where it's like stuff that I don't mind selling. I I always find something for her sale. Most of it is stuff I'm not interested in or just like kind of cheap stuff. And this time that they had all the cologne, it was definitely an awesome pickup there. Sold the G.I. Joe headquarters. It's just a piece of the jail wall here. I was wondering why these were selling so slow. I have a bunch of this. I parted this out. This is a huge set. It wasn't complete. It wasn't near complete enough, I think, really to make some money. So I decided to part things out. This sold for $7.99. The shipping on this was insane. Overall in, this person's $17.02. So I have it written down. I haven't done it yet, but procrastination, never the best. But I need to go back and check out the shipping rates on this because I'm sure that these are selling so slow because of how expensive the shipping is. Over $10 to ship that item, or about $10 to ship that item, is nuts. So I need to go back in there and figure out what's wrong with that listing, and the other pieces of the jail I'm sure are at the wrong shipping rates. So I'm sure that's why they're selling very slow, but did sell one piece there. Once again, this came in my wrestling buyout, and this is one of the one big pieces that I was talking about. Sold this Gray Castle skull. This thing was near complete. I think it was missing like 3 or 4 little pieces in there. It was fairly clean. The flooring had a little bit of like wear to it, but overall not bad condition. I sold that for $104.50. So big sale there. Was very happy to see that one come in. And this week we actually had a bigger sale. We sold something for $400, over $400. So that's that. We're starting to get to profit in that buyout, and we still have plenty to go. So thrilled with that. Ending that buyout, we have 2 more wrestling figures. First one we have, this is Gangrel. So Gangrel, 1998 wrestling figure. That sold for $6.90. And then these Vampiro, so like these like Spanish, or not Spanish, these Mexican wrestlers, I believe that they all are. It's all kind of just like very stiff from the 90s. They've done pretty well for me. So those are kind of like the home run figures I've gotten so far out of this. I mean, this one only sold for $10, but I had one sell up to $30. And they've been kind of some of the faster moving ones for me. So happy to see that go. Macari, we had the one sale. We sold $5 of Macari. Ray Dudley sold, so you're going to see him up here. Sold that for $5 on Macari. My Macari, I've been moving. I just started getting back up. It's been moving fairly slowly. But we are getting a couple sales on there, so happy to see those happen. And then we had nothing on Poshmark, which, as I said earlier, a little bit shocking. But Facebook wasn't too bad for me. I still want to get this going. I said last week we had 4 sales. I wanted to see more. Once again, we had 4 sales. Someone bought 2, so it was 5 items. We sold this giraffe. It was $12 here. When he came and picked this up, this is actually a little bit of a wild chase for this person because my road is also in the town over. So when this lady was trying to meet with me, she actually went to the wrong town. She got frazzled, couldn't find it. She was a little older. I went and met her in a place that she could actually find me. But that sold for $12 there. We had this lot of 10 baseballs. So I ended up selling this for $20. They're all Rawlings. They're good baseballs. They're a little scuffed up, kind of beat up. But no like leather loss or like actual scuffs, just kind of like bat marks. All 10 of those, so $2 each made for the 10 lot, $20 on it. Picked up these Winnie the Pooh lights. These were super popular. So on my Facebook, I had a lot of people reaching out about these. Ended up moving them for $20. It was one of those things where I had like 4 or 5 people waiting if that one person didn't pick it up. But sold those, and I have a Mickey Mouse set that just is not moving. So no traction on Mickey Mouse, but Winnie the Pooh, everyone was super interested in. And this last one, sold both these $10 each, $20 for the lot. Someone came and picked up this Rhode Island Beach art. It's like a 3D kind of scene thing here. And then they got these fish bottle holders, or wine bottle holders, where they kind of just balance with the bottle on it. Pretty cool item. Kind of fits our community and in a beach community. So any of that kind of stuff I try to find because I just know it's going to be good from Facebook Marketplace. So it's everything that we sold. If you guys haven't already done so, please like, comment, subscribe. All that greatly helps me out. I'll catch you on the next one.